This morning, I wanted to talk about a simple two-word phrase, and the simple two-word phrase was the inscription on the temple at Apollo at Delphi in ancient Greece. And those two words were know thyself. So when I started out in meditation, like a long, long time ago, when I was 26, I read all these books, and one of the things that it says, oh, you need to have a little more self-awareness. And so meditation was really good for that. And that I should really get to know who I was and know who I am. Now, if I ask you that question, who are you? Well, you might say, well, I'm a mother, I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm a sister, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a child. You might look at yourself from that standpoint in a role, right? The role that you're playing currently. And then you might ask yourself the question, am I my body? Is that who I am? Well, the body's ephemeral, right? It's always changing. So I like that quote by Heraclitus. Let's see, no man crosses the same river twice. Different man, different river. So we're always in process of changing, especially our body. So what about our thoughts? Are we our thoughts? Well, thoughts come and go. It's kind of like I put this shirt on and I change my shirt and then I have a new shirt on. Those are like my thoughts, right? Thoughts are constantly evolving and changing. And they're also very ephemeral. Same as emotions. Am I my emotions? Your emotions come and go like the waves on the ocean. They rise up and they fall. And they come as a result of your thinking mind and then also somatically how you're feeling. So there's a dual way they show up. How you think and how you feel, and they kind of cross-pollinate, if you will. Emotions are ephemeral too. And then you might have perceptions. Well, your perceptions are changing, your experiences are changing, your sensations, the feelings that you have through your five senses, those are always changing too. So if I'm not my body, my thoughts, my emotions, my perceptions, my sensations, my experience, and what the heck am I? So it's a good question to ask. A good question to ask is, who am I not? And that's a good way of getting around who am I, really going the opposite way, right? Who am I not? So we've discovered that we're not all those things that I just articulated and listed. So who are we in essence? Well, I look to books and I look to knowledge to try to figure that out, first of all. And I used to read books by the famous Advaita Vedanta mystic Ramana Maharshi. And he said, when somebody asked him the question, what is enlightenment? He said, courage. Enlightenment is courage. Courage to look at oneself deeper and to really, really see yourself. So in order to do this, if you really want to take up the project like I did, like a long, long time ago, is to really have courage to look at yourself, you need to get quiet. And the way to get quiet is to do a little contemplation, a little reflection, a little meditation. And so that requires stillness. That requires a little self-discipline. Yes, it requires self-discipline. Okay, so imagine like if I took this glass of water and I put a teaspoon of baking soda in and I stirred it, right? Stirred it up and all the particles would float around. And eventually though, if you let it sit for a while, the particles would begin to settle down, right? They would begin to just lie at the bottom of the glass. And there would be this clarity in the glass. You'd be able to see through it. So in meditation, acceptance of the kinds of thoughts and perceptions and experiences and all these sensations that arise in our minds as a result of our experience, they settle down. And what's left is a clarity. Ramana Maharshi, the same mystic that I was referring to earlier, he also said the purpose of our life is to recognize the nature of our true being. Recognize the nature of our true being. So knowing thyself, knowing oneself, is one of the greatest things we can do while we are here living on this planet, getting to know ourselves. So why should we do that? So we can better understand our beliefs and mindsets, the things that trip you up, understanding your values so that you can make better goals, understanding your strengths and your weaknesses, understanding how you relate to others and how you relate to yourself. It is one of the most important factors in making a decision. So, getting clarity on making a decision to really get to know yourself. And that takes a little reflection, a little contemplation, a little quieting of the mind. And that's what we're doing here today, knowing thyself and getting clear on who you are. Now, if I ask you the question, where were you yesterday? Were you there? And you would say, yes. I had a nice sleep, but I was there yesterday. What about the week before? Yes, I was there. What about 5 years ago? Where were you? Were you there? You'd say, yes, I was there. What about when you were a child? You would say, yes, I was there. I was a child. Yes, I was there. Were you there? Yes. Well, who was there? So it gets a little bit esoteric, a little bit more abstract when you begin to talk about who you are really, which, in my view, we are open awareness. That's what we are. There's nowhere that you are not. You are open awareness, spaciousness. You are aware. If you really want to give a definition as to who you are and who I am awareness. You are awareness. As we look closer at ourselves, when the baking soda all settles down and we have this clarity in the glass, and we see ourselves for this open spaciousness in meditation, and we develop more mindfulness or bringing awareness to the present moment without judgment, accepting life just as it is, not what we think it should be. When we have that awareness, a great joy arises, our natural state arises. And we have this kind of like feeling of lightness, this feeling of not being burdened by the serious nature of life, about the mind and how the mind causes all this chaos and dysfunction because we think so much and it clouds our open awareness. And when we have this open awareness, we can walk through life with more happiness, more fun, more pleasure, and more ease and more peace. Because that's what we're all looking for, isn't it? Just a little deeper inner peace.